The whole purpose of the show today is to show that we've heard some mythology, some mindless ideology being rehearsed in our city streets in America as a result of this war that's going on right now in Gaza. And it's important for us to pay attention. We've heard myths like the noble savage myth that, Palestinians or Arab Muslims were just hanging out in the land that Israel now occupies, and then Israel forced them out of the land and killed them all, and they're neo-colonial occupiers. So that noble savage myth that Arab Muslims were just minding their business until the colonialists came in and destroyed everything. Of course, that's a myth because that's absolutely untrue. The name Palestine was actually given to Jews. So when you say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, what do you mean by that, since Palestinian would have been originally a name for Jews? We also forget in all of this that on separate occasions, two-state solutions have been offered to Palestinians, and not Palestinians like the civilians. I know there needs to be a distinction, but to the PLO and to the PA, they've been offered on 7 separate occasions. They've been offered a two-state solution, and every single time, those in leadership in Palestine have walked away from the table. You know why? Because they don't really want a two-state solution. They want Israel eradicated. All this while Hamas gives us death toll numbers in Gaza, and the American mainstream media just runs with it. We don't care if it's actually true. We're going to listen to a terrorist organization tell us how many people Israel's actually killing. All while Hamas continues to use human shields and continues to use their people Iron Dome as they sit underneath tunnels like rats and use people to protect them from the rockets that they deserve. And all this while Hamas restricts the movements of civilians in the areas to make sure that they maximize casualties because they want foolish Westerners to get their back, and they also want Israel to consistently look like the bad guy because they can use that for their marketing purposes. All that while Israel does their best to do the impossible and avoid civilian casualties, while the leaders of Hamas sit in 5-star resorts in Qatar, raking in cash that was supposed to go to build schools and hospitals, and this so that they can go on television and demand that civilians stay in the area because they need martyrs for the cause, because they know that the West is so incredibly stupid that they will do exactly what they're doing right now. All of this is predicated upon a simple modern American postmodern problem. Facts don't matter, feelings do. Americans are desperate to find a cause, and any will do. They want to protest for it, and then they don't give a damn about the consequences because ultimately the truth doesn't really matter. What matters is how you feel when you protest. People are desperate to feel like they're making a difference because they were created on purpose and for a purpose, and they crave purpose. But placing the cause above the truth is distinctly American, and I'd argue distinctly secular. As we have become more secular, we now see young Americans all over willing to take the Faustian bargain and sell their souls while chanting genocidal phrases. All of this because the Death of God movement has left Westerners frantically, desperately searching for religion to replace Christianity in the West. If there is a religion that's taken the place of Christianity in the West, it's embodied in John Lennon's song Imagine. For those who need a refresher, the song goes like this. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It's not hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Let's imagine with John some of his ideas. He dreams of a world with no religion, a purely secular world. A discerning person would be wise to ask just one simple question. What if a Christian or Jew tries to enter this secular utopia? Of course, we know the answer, because Lennon's utopia sounds similar to another Lennon. Push aside the complete smug narcissism that thousands of years of wisdom can be pushed aside by a musician that would marry Yoko Ono, and push aside the minor detail that no purely secular society has ever existed in the history of the world. And imagine with me, what kind of monster would have to be in power to implement the program of religious expungement? Imagine no more, because during the Stalinist purges of 37 and 38, church documents record that 168,300 Russian Orthodox clergy were arrested. Of these, over 100,000 were shot. Lower estimates claim that at least 25,000 to 30,000 clergy were killed in the 1930s and the 40s. Small price to pay for a world with no religion, if you ask me. Maybe you get where John is going with his imagination. One last verse says the quiet part out loud. No possessions, which will lead to no greed or hunger. Oh, so you mean communism? Just say it, bro. Just say it out loud. Let's be really clear now that we've seen the agenda for what it really is. A moral agenda devoid of ancient wisdom and fully totalitarian. But make no mistake, Lennon's Imagine is fully religious. While the left claims to be moral relativist and to endorse moral pluralism and atheism, they clearly don't. They want their religion promulgated. The left uses moral relativism simply as a retreat. When they feel like they're winning, they want to push their ideas forward, and they will do it, fully willing to impose them with force if necessary and demand that everyone do what they want or they're a bigot, intolerant, or hateful. Ironic, right? Make no mistake, Lennon has an agenda. We all do. The problem with his is that in place of beauty, goodness, and truth that Christianity provides is silly and morally benighted Marxist nonsense. The idea of oppressor versus oppressed is a binary, which oddly comes from a bunch of people who hate moral binaries. But it's a binary that can be a justification for almost any conceivable evil. All you have to do is find an agenda, claim oppression, and demand the heads of the people standing in your way. So just pause for a moment and imagine with me something vastly different. A country built upon Judeo-Christian values that ends slavery faster than any other nation in history, produces prosperity and freedom more so than any other nation in human history, and then imagine, with me, a dumbass musician coming along and trying to destroy it all with Marxist nonsense. It's easy if you try. Just don't fall for it. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go with God, despite what John Lennon said.
So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely want to check that out, because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.